So, my name is Marc Girard, I'm head of BMW Interior Design.
Great.
So the goal in terms of design from designing the BMW Concept Active Tourer was basically from an interior point of view to combine the newness of this concept as a first front-wheel drive minivan with the typical BMW genetic approach to it. When you see the dashboard, for example, it's a clear explanation that the interior of this car was able to generate a lot of room. The dashboard is extremely long in comparison with typical BMWs due to the fact that the windshield is very far forward. But we are basically using this space, having a very flat dashboard, using also this surface to emphasize the quality and the haptic of the materials we have. The dashboard is also extremely slim and extremely wide, which also brings the typical width of a BMW interior. So those are the typical elements to emphasize the room feeling to it. What is typically BMW, absolutely in different way in comparison to this new concept, is the new interpretation of what is the driver orientation for BMW. You see the dashboard is slightly tilted to the driver, something that we currently know, but what is new is that basically the whole dashboard is wrapping around the axis of the steering wheel and the steering column. And this is for us a new interpretation of driver orientation, something which is typically BMW and something which always comes in each and also something quite unusual for a front-wheel drive where we don't have any transmission tunnel anymore. We do have in this car a center console because, in our opinion, this center console with all the commands located very near to the driver and pretty high is also a clear definition of driver orientation. But this console offers a lot of storage room in the front area, but also this console is floating. And this is only there because we don't have this center console. Which was also important to emphasize the functionality of the car, therefore in the console in the front, but also on the back seats we have the rails which are possible then, which enables a lot of clipping functionalities to integrate tables and iPads for the rear passengers. The rear passengers on this car have the same importance, in our opinion, as the people driving the car also sitting on the front. One big element also focusing is the digital quality, the digital appearance, which is in balance with the analogic quality according to those materials. All the screens that you see in free programming pinnacle, the central information display, and also the two screens located in the rear part of the car are all combined together with the same aesthetic, with the same design. This is our philosophy of BMW Connected Drive, which we are basically displaying in this interior.
And how far away are we from BMW to move to a full TFT digital gauge pack? Is that very close to production?
We are there actually, because this free programming economy cluster is something we launched in summer on the 7 Series facelift. This is actually the same approach as you see here, with 3 modes that you operate on the console, with a comfort mode and Eco Pro mode with the blue color, and also then the sport mode, which runs in a very digital way with the orange and red colors, which is right now coming back. And those 3 modes are exactly the same that we currently have on the 7 Series facelift, something we already have in production.
And this center screen is gradually getting wider and wider and getting closer to the gauge pack. Are we eventually going to have a situation where the displays almost wrap around the whole IP? Is that something that they're going to blend into each other eventually and take over more and more real estate in the interior?
It could be a way in the future. For the time being, we clearly say the driver orientation, the new driver orientation with this surface wrapping here. We basically want to play in the first side a combination between head-up display, which we have here, and the free programming economy cluster. This is one single unit, and this is for the time being a freestanding issue, which is basically a communication also between the driver and the passenger. That's why this display is sitting in the middle, slightly tilted to the driver, but standing alone. Yeah? This is the direction we have, and this is basically the center of communication, the icon of connected drive for all the passengers within the car. That's why that in terms of design, we basically want to have one single unit here, which is dedicated to the driver, and then the second center information display, which is in the middle and surrounded by the grids, in this case, for the BMW concept active.
Great, and the kind of the light pipes that we see running around the interior, kind of very reminiscent of the connected drive concept. Is that something that's going to move into production?
The only thing I can say is that light design, and you mentioned vision connected drive, where we really play the light as a absolutely fourth dimension of design. I do think and I do feel that the light design adds a new dimension, a new perspective in the quality appearance of the interiors, and that's definitely something which we're working on.